Adding fractions with different denominators. Before we start the lesson, I want to review how we can find equivalent fractions. If you multiply the numerator and denominator of a fraction by the same number, then it will result in an equivalent fraction. For example, if I multiplied 3/4 by 2, 3, 5, and 10, I would get 4 different fractions. And since I multiplied the numerator and denominator by the same number, all of these fractions would be equivalent or equal in value. Example 1. 1/2 plus 1/4. When looking at this problem, the first thing we should notice is that we have different denominators. In order to add fractions, we have to have the same denominators. This moves us on to step number 1. Determine the least common multiple, or LCM, between the two numbers. In order to find the LCM, we will have to list out the multiples of 2 and 4. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and we could continue on. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, and we could continue on as well. The reason I did not continue on is because I can already see that the LCM will be 4. Step 2. Multiply the denominator to become the LCM. If we look at the problem, we can see that the second fraction, 1/4, already has a denominator of 4, which is the LCM, so we don't have to change that fraction. But the first fraction has a denominator of 2, so we will have to change that to an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 4. If we pull up the multiples, we can see that 4 was the second multiple of 2. This lets us know that we will have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. When we do this, we are left with the fraction 2/4. And since 1/2 is equal to 2/4, we can change that original fraction 1/2 into 2/4. And this moves us on to step 3. Add the fractions. When adding fractions, we first add the numerators, and 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and we keep the same denominator. Since 3/4 cannot be simplified, our final answer will be 3/4. Example number 2. 2/4 plus 5/6. And right away we should notice different denominators. So we know we're going to have to change these fractions to have the same denominator. Step 1. Determine the least common multiple, or LCM, between the two numbers. In order to find the LCM, we will have to list out the multiples of both 4 and 6. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. The multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24. And we can see, looking at those multiples, that the least common multiple, or LCM, is going to be 12. So we want both of our denominators to be 12. Step 2. Multiply the denominator to become the LCM. We'll start with that first fraction. Our denominator is a 4. And if we pull up our multiples, we can see that 12 is the third multiple of 4. This lets us know we will have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. When we do that, we are left with the fraction 6/12. And since 2/4 is equal to 6/12, we can change that original fraction 2/4 into 6/12. Now on to that second fraction, 5/6. If we pull up our multiples, we can see that 12 is the second multiple of 6. This lets us know that we will have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. When we do that, we are left with the fraction 10/12. And since 5/6 is equal to 10/12, we can change the original fraction of 5/6 into 10/12. And since both of our denominators are 12, this will move us on to step 3. Add the fractions. We start by adding the numerators. 6 plus 10 is equal to 16, and we keep the same denominator of 12. Step 4. Simplify if possible. Since 16/12 is an improper fraction, I know I can convert it to a mixed fraction. When I do that, I will be left with 1 and 4 over 12. And since 4 and 12 are both divisible by 4, I know I can simplify one more time. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 4 over 12 can be simplified to 1/3. So the final answer will be 1 and 1/3. I have 4 problems on the screen I want you to try. I would recommend you pause the video now, solve, and then resume when you're ready to see if your solutions are correct. All right, let's check it out. Number 1 is equal to 1. Number 2 is equal to 8/9. Number 3 is also equal to 8/9. And number 4 is equal to 2 and 8/15. Take some time to review these answers, and if any of your answers were incorrect, I would recommend you go back and try to find your mistake. Thank you for watching.